Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, it appears to be an accountability issue. It appears to be an accountability issue in both major sports teams in Philadelphia right now. Breaking news, man. The Philadelphia 76ers, after 7 years, have decided to part ways with Brett Brown. Brett Brown wasn't really that bad, if you ask me. Brett Brown is responsible for helping spearhead the turnaround in the organization, help spearhead in the process. Brett Brown had a lot of tools at his disposal. He was able to rent Jimmy for 1 year, and I think that was the year for the Philadelphia 76ers. If Kawhi don't hit that shot in that Game 7, we go ahead and we take care of that title. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. The Toronto Raptors had to go beat up on a wounded, Warriors team. That would have been us. That would have been our wounded kill. But it don't matter how you get it. You get it how you get it. You know what I'm saying? But Brett Brown really wasn't that bad, if you ask me, man. The team at times, I feel like that the Philadelphia 76ers at times did not look hungry, did not look prepared. It was a lot of excuses. Listen, a head coach going to make Ben Simmons shoot. Brett Brown didn't have that kind of pull to make him go out there and to get him comfortable with shooting. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? A lot of this does have to fall on the shoulders of the head coach because the head coach did not go out there and get his team ready. Now, I will say this. Brett Brown has been getting the Philadelphia 76ers a lot of wins at home. He has been getting them to the playoffs. But to be swept by the Boston Celtics for the first time in like 38 years was the icing on the cake. You can't just be walking around here getting swept by your rival. That can't happen. You know what I'm saying? But to his credit, he did lose Ben Simmons for an entire series, and this showed just how important Ben Simmons was. Now, what I don't like and what I really don't care for is the shots going out the door. Now, we all knew that this was a make-or-break situation for Brett Brown. We all know that this was an important year for Brett Brown. We all knew that Brett Brown was on his way out of the door based upon how the team performed at times this upcoming season. It was inevitable. Everybody knew Brett Brown was going to get fired regardless. You know what I'm saying? But for now, for Josh Richardson to come out of nowhere and talk about it, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird to me for him to say there's no accountability on Brett Brown. Come on, Josh Richardson, you ain't played that good in that elimination game. The only person that really did is, you know what I'm saying? Real leaders don't do that. You don't hear Tobias Harris trying to dump on him. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear that right now. And Tobias had a bad series. I think it was Al Horford and Embiid. It don't surprise me coming from Embiid. You know what I'm saying? And Embiid is kind of emotionally soft in that area. So it don't surprise me that Embiid chose to take that route. It surprised me coming from Al Horford, if those reports are true, you know what I'm saying? Because Al Horford underperformed all year long. That ain't Brett Brown's fault. These guys had time on the field to show what they could do. You know what I'm saying? And none of that is Brett Brown's fault. Some of these guys got to get better with taking accountability for their shortcomings. But where do the Philadelphia 76ers go from here? Where do you go from here if you're the Philadelphia 76ers? One guy that comes to mind that I feel like is an A+ hire, but could be seemingly blackballed is Mark Jackson. I really, really like what Mark Jackson can bring to the organization from a toughness standpoint. He knows about getting a good roster. He knows about putting the correct personnel on the floor. He knows about building something that can mature into a championship contender. And we already one dominant guy away from being a contender if you're talking about Philadelphia 76ers. Now, Ben Simmons said he didn't care for Jimmy Butler's style of leadership. Jimmy Butler about to sweep somebody at 6:30 most likely. Jimmy Butler's still in the playoffs. This team too soft, man. The 76ers too soft, and that softness compiled with, Brett Brown's inability to rally the softies is what got him fired, and is what got the Philadelphia 76ers swept. You know what I'm saying? It was just, something got to give. Something got to give. I like Mark Jackson for the job. If it ain't Mark Jackson, I like Lou. You know what I'm saying? I like Tyronn Lue because Tyronn Lue has coached in championships. Tyronn Lue knows about explosive personalities and coaching guys like that. Tyronn Lue has won a championship. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I really want anybody else with like Van Gundy. I don't know if I want any of them guys or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I just want somebody that's going to go in there and rally the troops. Now let's get into some Philadelphia Eagles talk. the Philadelphia Eagles have brung back Trevor Williams. Correct me if I got his name wrong. They brung back Trevor Williams. We had him earlier. We released him because, in my opinion, we had expectations of Sidney Jones really being in strong competition with Avonte Maddox for the number 2 spot. It's looking like it's just been a one-man race. Sidney Jones has not shown that he should be the guy to get that spot. He ain't show it. Therefore, there's no competition because Slay gonna get his. Slay gonna start. There has been no active competition for the spot for the cornerback 2 position. You know what I'm saying? Reports are this: Sidney Jones ain't practicing the last 4 practices. We all saw what Jim Schwartz had to say about Sidney Jones and not practicing. You cannot show me what you got if you're not on the field. You just can't do it, man. And I feel sorry for Sidney Jones because I feel like he's going to end up being cut. I feel like Sidney Jones is going to be one of those guys that's going to be cut. You know what I mean? He's, and I think he got all the potential in the world. But if you're not practicing and dudes out there showing you what it is, we can't go off of your potential and guys who are showing us on the practice field that they buying into the system. It just don't work like that sometimes. So I just don't think that right now for what we're trying to do, actually, I just don't think it's the best fit for Sidney Jones being in Philly. I don't think it's the best fit because we're trying to win and we're trying to compete. You on the sideline for what is this, the 3rd year in a row? What's the injury? What's the injury? When dudes don't practice, they put other dudes. Listen, by him not being able to practice, Avonte Maddox is just getting too much time at practice. He could end up getting hurt. That's not what we want. We want the workload to be split. So let's bring somebody else who could split the workload, who could challenge for the spot. If Avonte Maddox is getting all the reps, you risk him getting injured by overplaying. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't fair to the guys who come out there practicing, and we can't keep babying and hold nobody's hand. It's time to go out there and win championships for the 76ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what it should all be about right now at this point. So I agree, man. I agree with Jim Schwartz having a direct stance and saying things like this. Hey, listen, if you don't practice, you ain't showing me nothing. I agree with it wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? And dudes got to go out there and put their best foot forward. That's just what it is. That's the nature of the beast. That's the climate that we in right now. And I believe that Sidney Jones could go find his inner beast somewhere else because it just might not be here with us. At this point, it ain't here with us. And you know what I mean? That ain't always a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Trevor Williams is going to make the squad? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? But at least he's going to go out there and compete. That's really what it's all about, competing. And dude ain't showing the ability to compete. So at the end of the day, we're going to see what this holds for the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're going to see how far down the list of free agents we got to go till we can get to a serviceable CB2. Because this is the situation I find us in. With Sidney Jones not competing and us possibly having to let him go, bringing back Trevor Williams, that means a guy like Rasul Douglas could possibly make the roster and possibly be on the field at a critical time and possibly get cooked. And then we having the same situation from last year that our corners can't cover nobody. You know what I'm saying? Slay only take away a half of the problem, half of the field. These other guys got to hold their weight. Let me know what you think in the comments.